Hey guys, what's going on? It is Spot the Aussie here with another Motorsport Manager F1 mod video. Round number 5, Sochi GP, which you know what that means. It is the giveaway race. It is the race where we determine who was going to win and who essentially is going to win our prize. Now, we have a lot of people voting in our first video for the giveaway, and the competition, of course, was you had to vote for who you thought was going to win race number 5 to be eligible, and then we're going to pick from a hat. Lewis Hamilton by far is the favourite, Sebastian Vettel closely following behind, then Daniil Ricciardo. There's a bit of a step back down to Max Verstappen. Nico Rosberg is actually, what, 5th on that roster. Then there's Fernando Alonso, so I actually have a lot of support. And let me tell you, I haven't had a chance to upgrade any of my components since the last race, race 4, because I had an engine build for 13 days, and it just happened to be the day that the race or practice had started, so I couldn't actually unlock that component for this race. So there's been no improvements to my car since the last race, where we ended up finishing 6th, so it'd be a bit of a surprise if I was to do anything better, but we're going to try, we'll do our best. Then there's Jenson Button, and I have one individual vote for Kimi Räikkönen, Daniil Kvyat, and Romain Grosjean. Grosjean's like finishing 18th every race. I don't know if that's like a troll, that someone just nominated him. If he ended up winning, like if everyone ended up crashing in front of him and we had crazy weather, that would completely spin me out. Apparently it's supposed to rain this weekend, so this is where they finish for practice number 1. Hamilton, Vettel, Ricciardo, Rosberg, Alonso, Räikkönen, Verstappen, Button, round off your top 8. We're only 0.5 seconds slower. Now the gap usually grows as soon as we start talking about race pace, but we're definitely going to be picking our soft tyres qualifying trim. Yes, we do. As for car setups, guess what? Both cars are in the ultimate window of 99%. I've never seen 100%. Have you guys ever seen 100%? Can someone tell me? Like, is that even possible? Now, the strategy here, if you want to be a qualifying expert like me, in regards to being a qualifying expert, I mean someone who can at least qualify as best as their car will let them, speed up the whole way, about 3/4 of the way of this bar, and then slow down immediately to bring tire temp and brake temp down. That is the trick to this. That is it. Purely that. That's it. There's nothing else to it. Around on our first lap, so bang. The brake temp is more volatile. It moves faster than what the tire temp does, and that's what you do. So in order to catch it, hopefully it goes back down faster. Bang, right in the middle, perfect for both. Ah, no, we're gonna get 2 cars around us. Hopefully it goes around the outside and doesn't get blocked by them. Nah, yuck. That's going to be a really yuck lap. There is some weird thing that happens now where we merge through other cars. Nah, we're going to get blocked. Look at that. We get blocked in. Alonso's gone faster, but well, Alonso hasn't set a time yet, so going 1.1 seconds faster is obviously going to be faster than any other time. And where do we want to aim? 6th or above would be perfect. I can't believe Bottas has done a time that's 1.6 seconds slower. That's going to be almost impossible to try and hit. 2.7 seconds, so 9th. Not where we want to be. Vettel's gone slower as well. We won't get around for another lap for Alonso, unfortunately, so that's his session pretty much done. Button's coming around. He's down by 3.2 seconds. He's gone slower again. No one's in front of him. No one's out and about on the track bar him. And he finishes his lap, and he does not improve on it. A lot of people have banked on Hamilton and Vettel, so they're going to be right for this race. Ricciardo, Rosberg, ran off your top 4. We've got Kimi Räikkönen and Max Verstappen. So, of course, Red Bull, Ferrari, and also Mercedes bringing out your top 3 rows. There's going to be Bottas and Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg outdone himself, qualifying 8th. Alonso back in 9th position. Yeah, a bit iffy there. 10th for Perez. Magnussen is 11th. 12th for Kvyat. And 13th for our boy Button. Hopefully we can do something with that. Carlos Sainz is in 14th. Massa, wow, he went backwards, didn't he? He's all the way back in 15th position. 16th for Julian Palmer. Esteban Gutierrez is 17th with Grosjean in 18th. Unfortunately for the guy who banked on Grosjean winning this race, I don't think it's going to happen. You never know. I mean, all the cars might have like the Tour de France peloton trip over each other. But let's have a look at the tyres as well. Soft tyres for everyone at the front. We're going to go on softs as well. We've actually gone on softs as well from 13th in the grid. I feel like we can benefit of that and dice through the grid. There's going to be 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights. Let's watch the race from the front of the grid. It's going to be Hamilton. Does he get a good start? Yes, he does. Hamilton, Vettel, Ricciardo ran off your top 3 at the start of the race. And it looks like Rosberg wants to jump up. Jenson Button's dropped back into 16th position already. That is catastrophic for us. Alonso also battling in that battle pack as well. He's just anchoring around. We might get him to go into medium mode. Let's get by that another car. Can we put the power down? It's the power hour for Alonso. And hopefully he can make another pass sticky. Yes, he does. He goes up to 10th position after having a terrible start. So it's all on us to fight back here. And he's made another spot. Go into overtake mode for a little bit here while the grid has kind of padded itself out. And our fuel efficiency is really bad. So every time we push, we're running out of fuel. He goes into 8th position. So we're already on the move. Alonso might be able to make 2 cars in the same corner. Can he do it? No, he gets cornered out there. That's alright. If we just want to pass one more car, Perez, then we can start to back away. Yes, we do. We're up into 8th position. Look at that. After a bad start, Alonso is locked up. That's not good for his tyres at all. Hopefully, we can make that pass stick. Who else is on our radar? Hulkenberg buttoned down into 15th. That is a yucky start for both of our cars. Hopefully, we can bank on a safety car coming out relatively early for this race. And that way we can fire away and make the most of having these soft tyres. So now we're attempting to overtake Nico Hulkenberg. We've already used 77%. That is dangerous for us. That is really dangerous considering how much we've pushed. Can we get by this car? That car being the Force India of Hulkenberg. And can Button do anything with it as well? He's struggling back there in 15th. How's our front runners going? It is still Hamilton, Vettel, Ricciardo, Rosberg, Räikkönen and Verstappen. Alonso's gotten by. He's gotten by indefinitely by Hulkenberg. And now we just want to start putting some good times down. Have a bit of a gap. Go into overtake mode. See if we can do anything with it. How's Button going as well? And there's nothing really happening for Button. Massa's struggling as well. He's actually fighting with Grosjean for that position. Massa's not coming last or second last with his teammates. Actually Gutierrez. So Saba actually improving that one position. But here we go. Alonso, his race pace has picked up. He's 0.2 faster than he was in his last lap. The only bad thing is, look at those tyres. They're already down to 58%. So our strategy is definitely going to have to change because of that. Yikes. And we're just going to eat up a bit of fuel now. I want to drop 1 lap of fuel, because if we drop 1 lap of fuel, the car will be 0.2, 0.3 faster a lap anyway with the lack of fuel in the car. And remember, there is no refueling in this F1 Championship, which I don't like, but that's what we have to do. Alonso does a 1:36. So we're 3 seconds off the front runners. Vettel also posts the personal best time. They're not letting Hamilton out of reach just yet. It's a bit of an uphill battle when you're versing him, isn't it? In such a good car and such a state-of-the-art driver. Button now drops down into 16th position. That is actually really bad. I'm hoping that once the air opens up a little bit, we can really start to push and start to grind on those times. But that is a terrible start for us thus far. And how's Alonso going? Alonso's times aren't going any faster. In fact, he's gone slower in that second split. His pace is down by 0.3 of a second. But at least he's coming in 7th. At least he's doing a good job there. We've hit that 1 less lap of fuel on board, so let's just start to go to medium mode now and start to really play a bit more strategic here. Hulkenberg's still at 75%, where we've only got 46%. I'm hoping for a safety car. That's my only hope right now, that a safety car comes out and kind of saves my bacon a little bit here. Button coming up. Who's he fighting now with? He's going around the Grosjean. So Grosjean's actually battling us for position. And did we just lock up? No, that was Romain Grosjean who locked up. Button's now in a 17th position. That is the worst we've ever been in. To be honest, that is the worst start we've ever had. I did let them go back into conservative mode. I didn't go into attack mode straight off the bat. I wanted to see if they could, be a bit more conservative this race and we can push later. But that might not be the case here. And we're going to have to pit relatively early for Alonso. So is Verstappen. Verstappen's pitting. Verstappen's pitting now, in fact. So we're going to go into push mode and to overtake, because there's no one going to be ahead of us, and we're going to pit the next lap. Because I don't want to get below 26, 25%. Below 30% is where it starts to go a little bit crucial. And a lot of cars are starting to pit now. Wow, everyone's starting to pit. Räikkönen goes in the pits. Alonso jumps in a 5th position. So that's a good start for us, It's not a bad start. And we've still got Hulkenberg behind us. It's going to be interesting where we come out in the race order. Are there going to be any rainy days? Nope, nothing to be raining about. Jenson Button overtakes 2 drivers. That's going to be Bottas and also Grosjean. So Williams really struggling at this track, which is not like them at all. And we want to make sure that we are definitely going to be pitting. Look at that, 25%. Setting good race pace. How is he at the second sector? He's going to be faster, hopefully. No, he's a little bit down. So now we can start to see those tyres starting to shred up. Park condition, everything's fine. Nothing to really do there. Fast stop. Where are we going to come out of? Estimated 7th position. We will be exiting close to Kimi Räikkönen. So that's going to be a really good stop. Let's look at Räikkönen. Is he battling anyone at the moment? No, I was hoping he's going to be battling the guy in front of him, Perez, and that way we could hold him up a little bit. Button. Who's got the button? We can push him the next lap. So we'll go one more lap. We've pushed Alonso as much as we can. He's got 1.4 less of fuel, and we're gonna go. Raikkonen's go ahead of us. Who was that? Is that Kvyat? Oh, we go ahead of Kvyat. So that's really important. Please note that down. That was really important that we have done that. Jenson button now sets a personal best time, and we want to get out of this little crowd control. So we're gonna have to pit now. We're gonna go in for soft tires because I want him to pit once and just completely blitz it out there while no one else is around. He's struggling with Bottas at the moment. That's okay. Alonso in 8th position. It'll be interesting to see if we're faster than Räikkönen, who's actually going on the harder compounds. Everyone's going in the pits now. Vettel, Hamilton, he's not that far behind him. Rosberg, Ricciardo. Surprised no one's gone out much further than these guys. Hulkenberg still on 53%. Perez, Force India is actually trying to push their cars farther. They've overcut at least me and Räikkönen. And now, let's see if we can go much faster than Räikkönen. What's the gap? The gap is 4 seconds, 4.4 seconds. Oh, while we're also doing that, let's watch Button's time. And when he comes out, what we want to do is we want to go completely into push mode. Bottas is locked up, so that's really important for us as well, because we're going to have to overtake him. And now that we're in excess fuel, let's push. Who are these guys ahead of us? Ericsson? So these guys haven't pitted and we're already behind them. That's not good. We did not want to be behind them. We wanted to either have a big enough gap that we're going to push, or that they're going to go in the pits. They've overcut us, and that's not good for us at the moment. So Alonso looking like he's going to set a personal best time. No, he's not. He's gone slower in the second sector. The gap is still 4.3 seconds, but more importantly, Räikkönen has caught Perez and Hulkenberg. Hopefully they can hold him up for us a little bit more. And we're not going to push through here. We're going to go back into low mode. Button's pushing. Who's he pushing between? Gutierrez now. It's such a yucky race for Button, isn't it? It's going to be such a difficult race for us to compete with here because of the way the race is. How is Alonso going? He's now setting a personal best time as well. We want to get him by those guys. How are we going now? Button finally getting by Massa. No. This is like that time that David Coulthard was racing against one of the Arrow cars at Monaco, but couldn't get by him and had to sit back in 16th for the whole race. At the moment, good stuff happening. Alonso now producing his fastest lap of the race. A little bit faster than Räikkönen. We're on par with him. Look how much faster the guys ahead of us are. Vettel absolutely crushing down the times of 1:33, but Hamilton does a 1:31. He makes it look easy, and he's already starting to lap Grosjean. Ericsson, they'll all be up, so Button can now push excessively. He can push for at least another 3 laps without having to worry about fuel load. And the whole idea here is that when Palmer pits, Massa pits, Bottas pits is up, we're going to come out ahead. So we've leapfrogged them a little bit by undercutting. We're catching up to this little fight mob ahead. I'm hoping that Perez has to pit soon so we don't get held up. It's been good for us because it's actually held up the guys ahead of us. But Räikkönen gets by without much of a drama right there. The gap has come down to about 0.3 seconds. We went a little bit slower that lap, which surprises us because the track should be climbing. The track conditions are warming up. How are the front runners going? Hamilton, first, second, for Vettel, same tyre tread. Rosberg going on the medium compound, so he might be able to leapfrog these guys depending upon his strategy. He might only do 2 or 3 stop strategy, where everyone else might do 3 to 4. Button sets another personal best time. That's really good. Excess, no room in front of him, so he should have another lap of just pushing and grinding away. We really want a safety car. We want a safety car to rebunch the whole group up. That would be absolutely amazing if that happened early in the race. I need it. I want it. I'm hoping for it. If you ask the universe, hopefully it happens. Button's still setting personal best sectors, so he's doing a great job for us at the moment. And at the moment, we're going to have to go back into concern mode. I don't want him to... Ooh, who did we jump ahead of? Hulkenberg pitted. Hulkenberg's pitted. It's just coming out now. And that might be something we can start to do. When we go on the pits, we can start to go into conserve mode. I don't think it changes anything, but you never know. Alonso now defending from 6, so he's gotten by Perez despite going into conserve mode. Go back into medium mode, push away a little bit, push as much away as you possibly can. We're still in the tail of Räikkönen with a 4-second gap. I'm going to have to let Räikkönen go. I'm happy to go back into conserve mode and let him push away a little bit and catch back up on that fuel load. Now remember, because we have one less lap of fuel than probably everyone else out there, our cars are going to be a little bit faster because you go faster by like 0.2, 0.3 second a lap faster at this track when you have one less lap of fuel, and that's what we've got at the moment. We are going to have to pit soon. I feel like we're going to have to pit after this lap, and we might come in for hard compounds. We might push 16 laps and then pit for softs at the end to try and do a really fast stint. But I feel like we've done everything we possibly could at the moment. Tyre tread is starting to go down a little bit. Our pace is starting to drop off as well. Button, where are you in relation to Hamilton? Hamilton's coming up. So you are doing a good job. You're down by 0.8 of a lap of fuel. That's fine because we are going to get that back. And it looks like, who's that behind us? Perez is going to pit. Pitting for Alonso, going to the harder compound, 16 to 18 laps. That's going to drag us out. We'll only have to really do 14 laps on this load, which is going to push us about to lap 28. And then we're going to have to pit one last time for softs. I think that's the way to go. Fast strategy. Nothing to really fix here. The girlfriend's just bought us a lemon lime and bitters. We're proudly sponsored by Schweppes. We can possibly push a little bit more with Button. He's coming up behind Massa, so he's caught back up on that gap. And that's really good for us right now. We're going to go back into push mode for Button. Fernando Alonso drops into 14th position. Where is he going to come out in relation to everyone else out on the track? He comes out ahead of Hulkenberg. So we've gained a position. It's perfect. That is what we wanted to see. That we couldn't have asked for anything more. We've jumped them by the pit strategy that we've had. Despite the fact that we had a bad start, we're now fighting back. Verstappen is just up the road. He's had 50% tyre tread. We've got 100%. We're starting to go back only into normal mode because, you know, we're starting to go a little bit over on our strategy for those tyres. And we might do the same for Button. Nico Rosberg takes the lead from Hamilton. I don't imagine that's because Hamilton is now pitted. So that's going to be interesting. Both drivers, very different strategies, same team. Medium tyres for Rosberg, 43%. New fresh tyres for Hamilton. Softer compounds, he's actually just behind him. And he might tangle a little bit here. I don't think they'll have driving orders. They might. Jenson Button is attempting to overtake Felipe Massa. And we're going to have to pit. We're going to have to pit for Button now. He's done a really excellent job for us. Pit strategy fast. Boom, 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 boom. Go to the hard tyres. Same essentially stop what we're doing for Alonso. So we're going to come in. Hard tyres. Strategy's going to be fast. Park condition. Everything looks fine. Let's not fix anything. Could fix the front wing. Probably no point. In you come, go back into low mode, go back into backup mode. And yeah, our main gain here is to try and get past Massa. Massa, who's going to go around on a hard tyres with 23%. We could do it. It could happen. Alonso now up into 7th. And let's look at that race order, because I know a lot of people are highly anticipating the game giveaway. Let's wait till they cross the line, stop and have a look at their times. It's a good stop for Button. Button's going to come out hopefully behind this battle pack. I don't want him to get caught up in this junker of a mismatch here, because remember, every time he gets passed by someone or lapped, he has to go slower for the blue flag. So that's a bit of a hit and a miss. But hopefully, if he does a fast enough time straight out of the pits, he jumps Massa. That might not happen if these blue flags come up, and that's going to be inevitable. So we're pushing, we're now coming back. I'm going to go back on those tyres. We don't want to wear them out. Blue flags for Button. That's really unfortunate. There's a change for the lead, I think. Nope, they're fighting. Whoa, we get ghosted through that. I've never seen that before. Hamilton goes through. He actually sets a fastest first sector while doing it. That's not good news for us. Massa's going to pit. Hopefully he does a much slower time. He's just in the pits now. And that's going to really ruin our strategy. We wanted to jump in by pushing the car as much as we could in that outlap. Has it happened? Has it worked? Yes, it has. So we've jumped Massa by coming in one lap earlier and then pushing. But we're going to get overtaken here by Vettel. Ugh, yikes. Hopefully we don't get slowed down enough by Massa. No. That's very unfortunate for us. That's not what we wanted to see. And now we're still behind Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg setting his personal best first sector. He's pushing the car a little bit harder than us because he can. How's Button going? Do you think we're going to get lapped by Hamilton? I'm speaking on Alonso's behalf. Perhaps. Perhaps. I still want a safety car. I still think a safety car could happen. Remember, drivers' fitnesses go down during the race. Anything could happen. Anything can happen. Looks like Massa's absolutely on the gun here. He's gone to medium tyres. That's fine. He can push as much as he wants. He's going to have to pit anyway. Kvyat pits. Oh, does Kvyat come out ahead of us? Yes, he does. Not the greatest of strategies there, but we're on 14th. Remember, we dropped back to 17th at some stage. So this is all about playing to our race. Weather has gone up. We're getting a lot of pressure from Hulkenberg from behind. They're probably more fuel-efficient cars than ours. I wouldn't be surprised if they were, if they had those stats that improved upon ours. They're in a very similar strategy window. Look at that. 72% versus our 76%. Perez on 77% on the medium tyre. Verstappen now looking to pit very shortly. He just did his fastest lap. And I don't want him to battle Kvyat. I want to try and jump him in the next pit stop that we're gonna have to do. He'll have to do it as well. He might actually go all the way on those tyres. You don't know. Possibly. That would be really risky. I still want a safety car. I want to see a safety car in this race. Is Hulkenberg lining us up to try and overtake? He seems to have the faster car at the moment. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Go on to overtake mode. Squeeze it out. Squeeze it out. Don't let him by. He just nicks enough pace out of there to kind of keep himself safe. And you know what? It looks like Hamilton's actually going to overlap Alonso. How else are we going? Vettel. Is Vettel not far behind? No, Hamilton's going to have to pit. We're going to have to pit anyway. So that's going to definitely push us back, which means we can start to push. We can push. We're down by 0.3 laps of fuel. But when we pit, we'll come out behind Hamilton most likely. And that will mean we'll have to do one less lap of fuel. And that will recalibrate to a positive 0.7. So if we push now, we're in a good window to do it. Get the tyres to go a little bit more in neutral mode. We can actually probably start to push more on those anyway. Alonso has overtaken who? Hulkenberg. I didn't think he passed us in the first place, but apparently he has. So that's just registered as a pass for us. Vettel takes the lead from Hamilton. They're both in the pits, I believe. Hamilton takes the lead again. Look how far ahead out he is than everyone else. I don't think Vettel is going to be able to come back into this race. It's actually Ricciardo leading this race from Rosberg, who are all posting their best times, but he's got track position. Everyone else is going to have to pit. Daniil Ricciardo's taken the lead for like maybe a little bit of this race. It's interesting to see that Hamilton's gone to soft tyres. Will he be able to get soft tyres 100% to 13 laps? No, surely he'll have to pit again. That is crazy. Why wouldn't he just go to medium? That's done my head in a little bit here. Does that mean we're not going to get lapped now? Surely I think we're still going to be lapped. Look at the lap differences. Our fastest lap. Let's have a look at Button as well. Oh, did Button get by? Meanwhile, Button's also gotten by. No, he hasn't gotten by. Kvyat, that's actually just signs behind him. Let's start to wind that engine back into medium mode and see where else we're at with Alonso. What's Alonso's fastest lap? A 135 versus a 132, 133. We're definitely going to get lapped at this rate unless the safety car comes. So I'm really happy to just keep pushing Alonso at the moment. Park condition, everything is fine. No dramas here whatsoever. Now, Lewis Hamilton takes the lead from Daniil Ricciardo. I think they must have just pitted. Yes, no, they didn't pit. It's just because he's much faster than them. But remember, Hamilton's going to have to pit on those soft tyres. They're already down to 84% after one lap. That's 16% tyre tread. That's nuts. I don't know why he's doing that. Here we go. Here's Button. Did Button just get by? Okay, Button just got by past Carlos Sainz. So let's put the hammer down now. Who's he chasing? He's chasing Kvyat. No. I thought he just gotten by Kvyat. My mistake, because he's actually challenging both those guys for track position. His race pace is up by 1.4 seconds since the last lap. That's because no one's passed him. No cars lapping us have passed us. How are we going for Alonso though? We're going to have to start to get him to go into push mode because the tyre degradation is starting to go down a little bit more. And if we can get these tyres to about lap 26, lap 27 and pit, that will be, I'll be perfect. We might just wind the engine back a little bit now, just in case we do not get passed, or lapped I should say. I think we are going to get lapped. Where is Räikkönen in this battle? Räikkönen's too far ahead of us. Räikkönen will not have to stop anymore. He can go all the way on those hard tyres with no issues. So I really need a good time from him to go into the pits. Alonso, we're going to have to pit you now, buddy, so you don't drop back too much. And when we do it, we'll have enough tyre degradation to get across the line with that amount of fuel. Ooh, that's a really dangerous rear wing. I can't risk pushing us back. I don't want to lose any time by fixing that rear wing. So the pit strategy is fast. I'm hoping for it's going to be a quick zing and ding and then we're out back again. We're going to be on the faster, softer compound versus Max's harder compound. Really interesting development for us to try and get that 6th position. We want to get that 6th position. Nico Rosberg just does the fastest first sector of the race. How is Hamilton going? Oh, there's a mistake in the pits. 2.4 seconds. No, 3, 4, 5 seconds. 5 seconds slower strategy because of that. And Alonso's that's really going to hurt us. That's really going to hurt our time. We're going to go into overtake mode as soon as we get across. Are we going to drop below Bottas? Please don't. Get ahead of him. Now push the car. Who's the idiot that made the mistake? Alonso would be absolutely spewing if he wasn't angry enough about the GP2 engine. He's definitely going to be angry enough about that, and we're going to have to pit for Button now. Go to soft tyres, pit strategy, fast. Unfortunately, no safety cars. That's a killer for us. We really wanted a safety car in this race. Are the guys ahead of us going to have to pit? Kvyat might not have to pit. We're going to have to pit indefinitely. And is Hamilton not going to pit on these tyres? He's down to 24%. He's gone 1.3 seconds slower. Is Vettel catching him? Surely Vettel is catching him. It's a 17-second gap. So it's like Hamilton just did a much faster time in that last part of the race. How are we going? We're back in 8th. Hulkenberg is 6th. I don't think he's going to be a threat. He's coming in. He's not going to be a... I was hoping he was going to hold up Verstappen a little bit more. But because of that strategy, look at us. We're all the way back in 8th. Even if we catch Verstappen, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass. I don't think we're going to be able to do it in the dying laps of this race. Fernando now sets a personal best time. What is Verstappen doing? He's doing 135s. We're doing 134s. It won't be enough. It will not be enough to catch him and pass him. How are we doing for Button? Button's tyres, get him back into medium. We don't need to spew those tyres up anymore. We could get him into push mode just a little bit. How is Alonso going? He sets a personal best sector there. So Alonso doing a good job. He's definitely pushed away from Bottas. I'm glad he didn't get caught up behind that battle. Verstappen's going to struggle at the end of this race. Hopefully that tyre drag eats away a little bit. He's going much faster than what he was in the last lap. Jenson Button goes up into 11th position because of those pit stops that would have happened. That would have been for Kvyat and Sainz. So he's jumped Kvyat and Sainz because of that fast outlap that he would have done. So now he'll have enough tyre degradation to get all the way around. Jenson Button now is setting his personal best times. We want to make sure that fuel load doesn't start to cough. If it starts to cough, we're in a little bit of danger. The guy that we're trying to catch is Hulkenberg. He's so far ahead of us, we're not going to catch him. So Button's best position is going to be 11th or above. He's setting some personal best times. I'm happy for him to keep circling around and seeing what times he can do. But yeah, it's been a pretty disappointing race for us. Everyone's starting to set faster times. Hamilton starts the first time. Okay, so there has been a change for the lead. 3 and a bit laps to go for these guys. Vettel in first position on the harder compounds. Hamilton on the medium compounds. And there's going to be Ricciardo and Rosberg all the way behind, further back. So I don't think Rosberg is going to be out. He's out of it. Ricciardo's out of it. Hamilton's going to be definitely out of it as well. Unless he can pass Vettel. Will Vettel be able to hold off on 48%? I don't think that's going to be enough. The tyre tread will get there, but I think on a more performance compound, I think Hamilton's going to pass him, especially because he's just set his personal best sector, and we're definitely going to be lapped. So that one less lap of fuel is going to come back to us anyway. So where is Bottas in all this? Bottas is all the way back. He's on 38%. He's not a threat to us. Hulkenberg, also not a threat to us. Perez, not really a threat to us. Button, Definitely not a threat to us, but it's really important that we get him across the line. So we're going to go back into conserve mode. He is going to get passed by Massa. That's the way it goes sometimes, but 7th looks to be our best position. Unless something happens here with Verstappen. Let's look at the times. Hamilton is now officially past Vettel. So Hamilton gets by us. So everyone right now that banked on Hamilton winning would be absolutely cheering. They'd be absolutely off their seats right now, having a bit of a dance, hoping that they're going to be in it. I think there's been like 30 people who have voted for Hamilton to win so far, so they're going to have a 1 in 30 chance in winning. Right now, we're fighting our way away from this little paddle. I just want to catch up to Verstappen. 38%. I'm hoping we can do something with this. I'm hoping that we can catch up. 58% tire tread. I can't push him just yet. You know what? When these guys pass, yes we can. We can start to push. Last lap of the race, Hamilton and Vettel coming down hard. It's going to be a last lap dash for these guys. Who is going to win? I'm not actually sure. It looks like Hamilton's got better tire tread at the moment, but Vettel's absolutely pushing in order to catch him. He's going to have 35%. And the main thing is, Vettel is just about to post the fastest lap of the race. And also for us, we're on the tail of Verstappen. We have a bit of a gap back to us. It's like 6 seconds. It's a big gap, but I'm hoping that we might be able to gather that back a little bit as the blue flags come out for both of our cars. And despite the fact that we've got more tire tread, we have 44% versus 32. Button, although setting his fastest lap of the race, which was a 1:34, is completely out of it. I'm not under threat from Massa, but the fact is Perez is too far ahead. He's like, let's look at the time, 40 seconds ahead. Nothing is going to happen there in order to get that position. But let's just do this last lap dash for the cash and see where the front 2 runners go. As I know many of you guys are excited to see. Looks like Vettel's starting to put a lot of pressure onto him. He's actually caught up to the back of his 0.6 down at the moment. Going into this last lap, he didn't do a faster lap. He was faster by 1 second, but it wasn't his personal best. Now as for us, we're starting to pedal around. We actually want them to pass us because we have 1 lap of fuel less than what we should have. And if these guys pass us, that will put us in the optimum range. Verstappen at the moment, he's starting to really cool on those tyres while we're really starting to attack. We want to catch up. Button does his personal second best sector as well, so he's in a really good space at the moment. Far enough ahead of Massa, he's not going to cause any problems. How are we going for fuel at the moment? Are we going to get past? I think we are going to get past without us having another lap to get back by Verstappen, and that's okay. We get the blue flags called out for us. We are going to break up that gap a little bit, and it looks like Hamilton is going to come first. So a lot of people who put their money on Hamilton are going to be very happy because they are going to be eligible for the race, for the game, for the Motorsport Manager giveaway, which is going to happen in the next video. At the start of that video, I'll put all the hats and the names. There's about 30 names that went for Hamilton. Obvious #1 pick. He's the prior world champion, or the reigning world champion before the year that just happened. So no surprises there. Unfortunately, we're not going to make it around. But it would be interesting to see how is Button going. Button can't improve on his time because, look, Perez has already finished. Verstappen's having to do another lap. It'll be interesting to see how much slower he is coming around for this last lap because he's down on tire tread. He's actually going faster. So despite the fact that he's got less tire tread, this is actually going to be his fastest lap of the race. That is absolutely insane. It just goes to show you how much fuel goes into it. Fuel is very important in terms of how much fuel you have on board versus how fast you can actually go. So congratulations to everyone who picked Hamilton. Unfortunately, Vettel couldn't make the pass in the last lap or two. And we've now picked up 7th and 11th, so we're just outside the points again. But remember, we're about to get a brand new engine. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Please hit that subscribe button. Keep liking these videos. Keep commenting down below. I love the fact that you guys have given me a lot of feedback. I love the fact that we've hit 1,200 subscribers. I can't believe it. But that was the race in a nutshell. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to end it here, and I'll be back for the next series. We will be more competitive with an epic engine, which is going to be built straight after this race. Crazy enough is that. I wish it was run race before. We would have had a bit more of a chance there, but we'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been Spot the Aussie. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you guys very shortly.